Welcome to today's episode of Gold Coast Sounds. I'm sitting here with the very talented Mason Rack. Mason, how are you?
Good, thank you, Lachlan.
That's good. Now, Mason, we're here to talk about a few things, but first and foremost, I think it's important that we plug the CD, Limits of Grip by the Mason Rack Band. What's the... well, first and foremost, where can you get it?
It's available through JB Hi-Fi and through the website masonrack.com.
All right, so that website will be down the bottom of this interview. So just talk us through what the main inspiration for the whole album. Why is it called Limits of Grip?
I heard the term and I just liked, for me it equals the limits of grip on sanity. So with this kind of business and the way things are these days, you know, in general across the globe, it's pretty much comes from that kind of thinking or that kind of feeling.
The first single from the album. What's the first single from the album?
Hard Goodbye. Yeah. And it's written about the times when I was still drinking, and just a breakup between a partner.
One single I've been listening to over and over is Dare Me To. Where did Dare Me To come from?
Dare Me To, actually, the idea behind that song, apart from when it was written and the actual music in the song, it was written out of all of those times when people say you can't do that, or there's no way that can be done, or you know, you won't succeed. So for me, when I sing that song, there's one particular time in my life when a guy said to me, you know, everything's going pretty good now, and it's not always going to be like that. And soon you're going to crash and burn, you know. And that might be true, but I just keep trying to do what I'm doing. So it comes from really just trying to stick it to the man.
Yeah, cool. And Beast, which is on this, has got a massive exposure. You want to just talk a little bit about that massive exposure?
Yeah, Beast. It was a film clip was made with that one as well as Hard Goodbye. Beast came out of... It was actually written totally different when I first wrote that. It was written more like a dance beat. And then we hooked up with producer Rob Feaster, and he's worked with all of the greats. And he was in town and he got us and he looked at the song and he wanted to change it. So we changed it, went with him and recorded it with him at 301 in Byron. And... yeah, it's a lot heavier song than we're sort of used to, and it just went that way, and we just went with it. We don't want to be pigeonholed into one particular category of music, and we've never done just one category either, you know. But yeah, Beast is a lot of people like it. A lot of people, it's one of the ones that gets shouted out a lot at our shows. You know, play Beast, you know, and depending on the show and the audience, sometimes we just won't play it because it's not that kind of audience. But yeah. It's a good song.
Beast and the Hard Goodbye music videos will be on this Facebook page straight after this interview is released. So that's the album Limits of Grip by the Mason Rack Band, available at JB Hi-Fi or at the website, which is masonrack.com. And we'll have that website link there. You were talking to, before the interview, you were saying you've got a Canadian tour coming up. When exactly is that?
That starts early July. This will be tour number 5. And we have 26 shows to play there in about 6 weeks. So we'll be back late August. And I'm really looking forward to it. We play one of the festivals there is Rare Earth Festival. And the response we get from Canada is really good. The Canadians are a lot like Australians. They like taking the piss out of each other as much as we do. They're probably not quite as crass as we can be. And the difference between audiences between Australia and Canada is that the Canadian audiences, and I've heard this about other countries too, are really, really behind anyone who's playing music or anyone who's into the arts. And so it's not like that in Australia. You know, you can go and play a show in Australia, and a lot of performers will testify to this, that you play a show or finish a song, and you know, you won't always get an applause. You won't always get a response, and so that's a tough thing, right? And so I look at it as a good thing, because if you are getting a response and are getting applause from a song, then you're doing something right. The other thing about Canada is they're snowed under for 3 months or 4 months of the year. So come summertime, they just want to go berserk, and everyone is out to have a good time. And we've played probably over 300 shows in Canada, and I've seen 2 altercations out of all 300 shows. One guy got pushed, another guy got kicked out. That was it. I've never seen, you know, I play 300 shows in Australia. You know, you're going to see, you know, every second or third or whatever show, there's probably going to be something going on, you know.
It's the last or second last weekend of this month of May. You are playing at the Blues on Broadbeach. How many years have you been playing at the Blues on Broadbeach?
Oh, I think this is the 6th or 7th. I'm not sure.
And keeps getting better with age?
Yeah, that's a great festival. I mean, you know, music in general is such a freeing, you know, a form of art, you know. So when you get a festival like this and it's free to the public, it's really cool. I mean, the families and children and everyone can just come down and hang out and see really good musos, you know. So Broadbeach is a good scene.
Alrighty, on Gold Coast Sounds, we have a tendency to make people do silly, ridiculous things. And one of those silly, ridiculous things is to see how many marshmallows you can actually put in your mouth. Is that something you would be up for?
Yeah, definitely. How many did the last guys do?
Touch, which was the interview last night, they put 15 in. Do you think you can beat that?
Easy.
Easy?
Yeah.
That sounds like trash talking. All right, here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. That's 7. Yeah, that's it. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. That's 11. That's 12. That's 12. That's 13. That's 14. 2 more and you've beaten it. 2 more. Come on. That's 15. That's 16. That's 17. Wow, that's 17. Are we going to stick with 17? That's 17. That is 17. Just say 17. That's 17. Mason Rack managed to get 17 marshmallows. Now, you were mentioning that the show, there's going to be a few new concepts in the show coming up. Do you want to divulge any of that, or is that top secret?
All I can say is there'll be a lot of skin. It'll be comical, and there'll be other stuff that will highlight a higher entertainment value, and we want to keep evolving the show towards more of a show, like an extravaganza. We want it to be completely different to what anyone sees, and we want someone to come out and see the show and go back and never ever forget that show. You know, a lot of people ask us what we're using and you know where it's coming from, and
so tech specs. We want some tech specs. All right.
I mean, the speakers that we're using right now are Vase amps, and it's a reissue. Like it's an old company from back in the 70s and stuff, and there's another guys have bought the company because it folded and have reissued it, and it's just awesome, authentic Australian merchandise, and it's incredible. Vase amplifiers. They're owned by a company called Acoustic Technology, and they're in Brisbane. And I can't say enough about them. You can order the speakers in any which way you want them to be formatted, and they're hand built. Wow. And a lot of people are really coming up in our shows and going, where do I get that from? And so for us, Face amps are really working for us really good. Nice. We're starting to write some new stuff now, so there'll be a new album out probably early next year. And we just want to keep going what we're doing. We want to try and hit UK, Japan, and those places next year if possible. And I think the main thing for us is just keep trying to help people be happy and have a good time.
Alrighty, well, we've been talking to Mason Rack this week on Gold Coast Sounds. The album Limits of Grip is available at JB Hi-Fi or at the website down below. And I'm Lachlan Glasby. Mason, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. And I've been Lachlan Glasby for Gold Coast Sounds.
Wow.